So this is a scene from Se7en. All right, so they're at the crime scene, second day on the job, and take a moment, you guys, and just think a little bit about what's happened right before the scene starts. Where you're coming from, what happened right before the scene started? Where were you? You walk up and you see what? Okay, so, and I want you to sort of tap into something that connects you as Lamont, where you've experienced something like this. And Pierce, where have you experienced something like similar? And if it's not the same, use your imagination. You probably already did this, but you just get connected to that thing that you did when you worked on it. You know the vibe. So you're there now. And take that essence, put it into your character. And so now that feeling that you have is into this character. You're no longer Pierce and Lamont, but now you're the characters. And you're in this crime scene. And if you feel like the character's a little bit emotionally rattled or emotionally charged or a little bit more amped, don't be afraid of just like starting a lawnmower engine. Take a couple of breaths to rev it up, just to get you, sort of loosen you up and get you a little bit lightheaded if you feel like you might be. And then after you do that, let that go, and you're still a characters. But right before we start, I want you to think of that personal thing, like a piano key that's going to throw you into the scene. You're going to tap that and use that to launch you into the scene. So far, today's class has been just fantastic acting. So you guys just keep it honest and play off of each other. Don't act, and just let it happen. Here we go. Ready? And action.
Christ. You know, I think somebody should film Guinness. I think we got a world's record here. So who said this was murder?
No one yet.
Then why are we wasting our time here? You know, clearly this guy's heart's got to be the size of a canned ham. If this isn't coronary, I don't know what is. Or not. Still, he could have tied himself up to make it look like murder. You know, I saw a guy once, he committed suicide, but he wanted to make sure his family could collect the life insurance, right? So what he did was, when we found him, he had a knife in his back. So what else could be of a homicide? Except I finally figured it out. You see, what he did was, he put the knife behind him. You know, he stuck the very tip of it behind his back. Then he pushed his body backwards against the wall. And he shoved his body completely back at full force. And, you know.
Be quiet for a while, would you?
Yes, sir. Forgive me. There's a bucket here.
What?
There's a bucket here under the table.
What is it?
It's fucking vomit. It's a bucket of fucking vomit.
Is there any blood in it?
I don't know. Feel free to look for yourself, okay? Fuck. Think it was poison?
Guessing at this point is useless. Detective Mills, help the officers question neighbors.
You know, I'd rather stay on this.
Send in one of the forensics on your way out.
You see my files, right? You see things I've done?
No.
Anyways, I did my time on doors to doors. I did my time walking a beat. I did all that shit for a long time.
Good.
You know, the badge in my pocket says detective. Same as yours.
I made a decision. Because I had to worry about the integrity of the scene. I can't worry about whether you think you're getting enough time on the playing field.
Yeah, well, all I want is just don't be jerking me off, all right? That's all I ask. Just don't jerk me off.
We'll be spending every waking hour together till I leave. So I'll teach you who your friends are and your enemies. I'll help you cut through the red tape, and I'll help you integrate, as the captain likes to put it. However, no matter how much you beg or plead, jerking off something you're going to have to do for yourself. Is that clear?
Okay, sure. Yeah, it's just with my old partner, you know.
Just don't think that's the sort of relationship we should have. We start quarreling over insignificant things.
But yeah, whatever you say, detective.
All right. All right. Scene.
All right, you guys. I loved it. You guys were great. Nice job.
I got it. There you go.
Yeah, it's great. This is definitely, I have to say, tonight's class is probably some of the best acting in a row from beginning to, I mean, so far, everybody has been like ratcheting it up a notch. Everybody's been so believable. I wish the world was seeing this class right now because it would make me look like a freaking king. It's all about me. Come on now, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. No, but I mean, seriously, all kidding aside, you guys totally were great. And you just were playing off each other completely. The stakes were so much higher tonight. Like, as far as like, this is one of the things when I watch movies like that, I always am asking, do I believe there's a dead body there? Do I believe this guy believes there's a dead body there? And I did with both of you. And I also really liked your relationship. Like, this whole story about, you know, putting your back into the knife, Pierce, and then your response a lot, just to give him a look one time that was so honest. Like, it was just so great. And you know, and this time, Pierce, also, I noticed the story was coming out of fear instead of it just being like light. It wasn't. So that was a huge improvement on your part too. I also kind of got on your end, Lamont, a broken soul. You know, somebody who's been beaten down, like a dog that was beaten and was like taken away and given to a new owner and just kind of hides. Like, you had this quality of being worn down, you know, over it. So I don't know what to say other than great job. I loved it. So, you know, find something else, I would say, if you can. You guys seem to work well together. I'd say pick another scene. If you need help finding a scene, let me know. But I loved it. I just thought it was terrific. Way to go.
Thank you.
Good job, you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Way to go. This is a scene from Se7en. And the two detectives are arriving at a crime scene, discovering a dead body of a very obese person who's been tortured. And Pierce, you're playing what's your character's name?
Mills.
Your Mills, and your Somerset. And yes. Mills has only been on the job for like a day and a half. And he's a cocky guy who kind of came off of the force of a small town being a detective, and you kind of think you know everything. And Somerset, this is like your 5 days from retirement, but you've never really seen a crime like this. It's so dark and disturbing. And it's like, oh my God, I'm leaving and this is my last case. And so you're also kind of showing him the ropes because he's taking over your job. Is that right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right, you guys. So I want you to, just as I've been saying tonight, I want you to tap into something that connects you. So Lamont, you know, whenever we do our scenes, yeah, we have our emotions, our objectives, and so forth, but you gotta still rooted in truth, because it's still, even though you're playing Somerset, remember, it's still Lamont. It's Lamont with a different name, though. It's right. Lamont who's named Somerset in different name, different circumstances, different place, but it's still the essence of you. So that's why I ask you to start. So where have I experienced anything similar to this vibe as Lamont? The same with you, Pierce. Even though you're Mills, it's still Pierce with a different name, different circumstances. You're not an actor, you're a detective. You're a hotshot, kind of cocky, second day on the job. So I want you to both sort of connect to a moment that connects you and gives you the vibe of what you're feeling right now. And this is the homework that you probably did at home. And if it doesn't get you there, you have to use your imagination to create it so that it makes it a lot more disturbing if it's not rooting it. So you take that essence, put it into your character, and now you're kind of shifting from being Lamont and Pierce into this new Somerset and Mills, feeling this essence, and that essence is taking over. But it's still you, still the same guys, just with different names, different circumstances, and there's this bloodied, obese person. I'm going to turn off my camera, and here we go. Ready? And this is from Se7en, if I didn't mention it. Ready? And action.
Oh, Christ. You know, somebody needs to phone Dennis. I think we've got a world record here. So who said this was murder?
No one yet.
And why are we wasting our time here? You know, clearly this guy's heart's got to be the size of a canned ham. If this isn't coronary, I don't know what is. Or not. Still, you know, he could have tied himself up to make it look like murder. You know, I saw a guy once, he committed suicide, but wanted to make sure his family could collect the life insurance, right? Anyways, when we found him, there was a knife in his back. So what else could it be but homicide? Except, you know, I figured it out. So you see what he did was he put the knife behind him, stuck the very tip of it in his back. Then he placed his back up against the wall and he shoved his body really far backwards onto the wall.
Please, be quiet for a while, would you?
Oh, yes, sir. Forgive me. There's a bucket here.
What?
There's a bucket under the table.
What is it?
Oh, it's fucking vomit. It's a bucket of fucking vomit.
Is there any blood in it?
I don't know. Feel free to look for yourself, okay? Think it was poison?
Guessing at this point is useless. Detective Mills, go help the police question neighbors.
You know, I'd like to stay on this.
Yeah, send in one forensics on your way out.
So, you know, you've seen my files, right? You seen the things I've done?
No.
Anyways, you know, I did my time on door to doors. I did my time walking a beat. I did all that shit for a long time.
Good.
You know, the badge in my pocket says detective, same as yours.
I made a decision. I had to consider the integrity of the scene. I can't worry about whether you think you're getting enough time on the playing field.
Yeah, well, all I want is, just don't be jerking me off, okay? That's all I ask, just don't jerk me off.
We'll be spending every working hour together till I leave. All right, so I'll teach you who your friends are and your enemies. I'll help you cut through the red tape, and I'll help you integrate, as the captain likes to put it. However, no matter how much you beg or plead, jerking off something you have to do for yourself. Is that clear?
Yeah, okay, sure. You know, it's just that with my old partner, you know.
Yeah, I don't think we should have that sort of relationship. We start quarreling over insignificant things.
Whatever you say, detective.
Good. Okay. Team.
Very good, you guys. Nice job. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's not done. It's better though.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. I like you guys. I like both of your characters. I like the vibe. I like your personalities. You know, where I'm having trouble, just my own, you know, personal take. It's just the weight of the situation. You know, I like your attitude, Pierce. I like the way you're playing this sort of flippant and like, you know, I know my shit and, you know, you're a quitter and I'm not. You know, if I was in your position, I wouldn't be quitting. So with that kind of attitude that you have is really great. What I'm missing though, Pierce, you know, this whole story about, you know, the guy shoving the knife in his back, that whole thing. Why are you saying all that?
I feel like I'm saying it to like impress him and tell him like, you know, I figured out this whole thing. Like, you know, everybody thought it was actual homicide. You know, somebody came in here and killed him, but you know, I'm the one who figured it out and how exactly he did it.
Got it. No, I agree with you. But like, again, you know, when you're in a scene, like, you know, any scene, you have to, again, kind of go, well, what's driving me to tell this story now, given the circumstances I'm in? So I would say, you know, where have I ever, if I were playing your role, it kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe being in a position where I'm out of my league and I'm trying to kind of prove that I'm not. And what's missing is that. what's missing is the fact that this crime scene is so unbelievably disturbing. And so it's the grit of that, the grit of how disturbing this is. And then I see you trying to mask it with this story. Like, I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly, but what was missing for me was the fear. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you were like, I'm just going to give you a completely inane, simple example. But like, let's say you were on a date and, a snake, crawled over your foot, and the girl was looking at you and you were terrified of the snake. And you were like, oh, I got it covered. I've dealt with snakes. But on the inside, you're like, holy shit, that was a cobra. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's that quality of it being a cobra, not like some little innocent worm, but like a deadly snake, and you're trying to kind of play it off like I got this covered. It's a balance, because you have this, I feel like you've developed the personality of this sort of cocky, arrogant attitude. But it's the soul and the wear and tear of, you're coming from this small town, you don't see shit like this, and trying to play it off like I got it covered. So the horror on the inside, the terror on the inside is the part that you got to get more in touch with, of what would it feel like? I mean, have you ever seen a dead body?
No.
Pierce, have you ever seen a dead body? Neither have I. But like, this is right in front of you. And it's in an unbelievably disturbing, sick, vomit-filled bucket, bloodied. The guy's face is planted in the food. He's got like barbed wire or some kind of shit tying it. I mean, it's disgustingly awful and crude, and it's torture. But if you're a guy who comes from a small little town, and for you, a big deal is, seeing somebody get shot in a bank robbery, and that's the biggest thing that you've seen. This is like, like I'm going from taking a little airplane flight from, Los Angeles to San Francisco to taking a flight to the moon. The difference is that significant, and watching you go, oh, that's fine. The guy from Virgin Atlantic, yeah, I'll fly. I'll fly to the moon. Even though I have a fear of flying, I did San Francisco. I can do this. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to develop that. And on your end, Lamont, interestingly enough, it's the same exact note. It's the same note for you, as far as you haven't seen this before. This is like a whole different league. This is Ted Bundy shit. This is like a whole new universe. You have, again, because what I'm getting from you is I'm getting from you that you're seeing crime scenes. I'm getting from you that you've been on the job for 15, 20 years. I'm not getting a guy who's been beaten down by the world and disappointed with the world, disappointed with life, disappointed with the way people treat each other. And I mean, why are you alone? Why are you, remember that, when you're at home, you have a switchblade and you throw it in the wall. That's what you do for entertainment. The guy's, his I don't know how old you are, but this guy's probably in his mid 60s, early 70s. And that's what he does. This is a guy who's been beaten down, and he just can't do it anymore. Like, why are you quitting? Why are you retiring? Because I think it was a choice.
Right.
I don't think you were like nudged out. I think it was, and then you have to kind of figure out, well, what was the straw for me that broke my back, that made me go, I need to get out of it. I can't do this anymore. What was it? What happened? Why did you suddenly say I'm retiring? And you got to figure that out.
Right.
And it's probably been repeatedly things happening that don't make sense.
Yeah.
What's that?
Just enough of the dead bodies. I mean, one too many.
One too many, and feeling like you're not making a difference. Like, what am I doing this for?
Right. It's gonna keep going on whether I'm here or not.
What's that?
I feel like it's gonna keep happening every day, whether I'm here or not in this city. There's gonna be a death, whether I'm here or not. So what's the
What
point?
the fuck am I doing with my? I mean, how many years? I think you're in that place where it's like, what? I got maybe 15 years left, maybe 20 tops.
Right.
You know, what am I going to do with my final years? Look at dead bodies and not accomplish anything, not change anything? Yeah, okay, it's great to get justice, but tomorrow there's another murder, and then today is like the biggest, the most disgusting of them all.
Right.
I mean, the fact that this is happening 5 days before you retire, you guys have to think a little bit more about what's going on underneath this scene. Like, a friend of mine was talking, we were talking about it, about the heart of the scene. What is this about? Like, what is this thing? What is this scene? What is this showing? Not necessarily, what is it showing to the audience? I'm just asking, you know, is it about betrayal? Is it about not getting, is it about life and wasted time? Is it about, what is this scene? Do you guys have any thoughts about, like, we have a newbie and we have a guy who's going out, and we have sort of a changing of the guard.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you guys haven't gotten in touch with that thing. We'll call it the heart, the message, the poignant thing about this scene, what it means. Is it about betrayal? Is it about envy? Is it about jealousy? Is it about, as I said, is it about?
Yeah, because I was just thinking, as I'm doing the scene, more just about me and him as far as our characters, like me not being comfortable with him taking over. I'm not sure if I've gone as far as thinking about why we're here.
You got to look at it from a higher perspective, overall perspective. Like, what is this piece? What is this? We know that it has something to do with life, and as we were just saying, like, you know, the wear and tear of it, and not making a difference. And there's something about this fresh innocence of you, Pierce, kind of walking in like, I know everything. And look at the world you're about to enter, you know? And it's like that sort of innocence is bliss. You know, like, what are they? It's like that thing where I think what we're talking about, you know, people go through, I was listening to some guy, he was charting certain things, and it was financial stuff, and he was talking about how people, when they learn, maybe I told you this already, if I did, forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but when you learn a little bit, you go through stages. When you learn a little bit, you think you know everything. And then, you know, you learn a little bit more and you realize, oh my God, I know so little. And you're in the stage where you think you know everything, Pierce.
Right.
You know, and that's, I think we're a little bit about that. And what you need to work on, Lamont, is it's like I took a bat and, you know, once a month, I smashed you in the ribs for 40 years. And that's where you are today. Wear and tear of life. Like, you walk around with like 300 pounds on your back. And I'm not getting that. I'm not getting the weight of that. So you got to think more about that. Like, what does it feel like? What is that? What is that feeling of the wear and tear of life? So if it were me, I would have to think, where have I ever felt anything like that? Like, it's not worth it. I can't take it anymore. It's like, you know, like maybe you're at the end of a marriage or a relationship, and the pain and the you know, how much of this am I going to go through? Or it could be, you know, a line of work that you're in. It could be in acting, the industry. It could be, there's so many things that you can connect to. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you're at the tail end of it, and it's so bad that you're leaving. And Pierce, you're walking in here going, you're a fucking failure. You're quitting. You're a quitter. It so reminds me of Hollywood. It really does. It reminds me of somebody who's been in Hollywood for 40, 50 years trying to make it. And after a while, you get to a point where it's like not worth it. It's just, it's just not worth it anymore. The cost benefit ratio. And you decide, I've had enough. Time to, I want to do something else. Like, I'm getting old and I'm running out. And Pierce, you're walking in here, you've been in Hollywood for a year, and you're looking at him going, I'm an actor. What are you? You're a failure. You're fucking leaving. You're quitting. Ah, another one bites the dust. There we go. Another one. Check it off. Failure. And, you know, from your perspective, Lamont, you're kind of going,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a failure. Yep, I'm quitting. I can't, I mean, I'm gonna come visit you in 25 years and we're gonna revisit this conversation, Mills, and this attitude you're giving me. And I'm gonna remind you, you know, of what we went through. You guys with me?
Yeah.
You got to connect more with that. So you guys are totally on the right track. You're on the right track with the personality, the attitude, both of you. I like both of you. I also like the differences between the two of you. So you're very much on the right track. It just needs, you've got to work on this grit, the wear and tear of life, Lamont and Pierce, on your end, the shock factor. This is unbelievably alarming, and I don't want anybody to know. So I know my shit. Acting, it's easy. You just fucking audition, you walk in and you get the part. I mean, it's fucking easy. It's a no-brainer. What's wrong with you? Why are you quitting? You just quitting because you're lazy. That's it. You're lazy, and that's it. You're just a quitter. Me, on the other hand, I'm a winner. That's your attitude, Pierce. You know?
Yeah.
You guys know what to do?
Yeah.
Work that I'm asking you to do is going to be work that you're going to have to do by yourself. This is not having anything to do with you guys together. This is, you got to get more in touch with, what do I see? What have I seen? What have I seen for the last 40 years? And again, I would stress to you, both of you, what launched you into leaving your old job, Pierce? Was it another parking ticket? Was it another speeding ticket? And it's like, fuck, I didn't sign up for this. I want to have some playing time, as you call it, Lamar. You know, what do you say? Giving you some playing time or something?
Playing time on the field, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you say that, it's almost it's almost a joke. Playing time. Playing time. This isn't fucking playing time. What is this? This is not playing. We have a dead body here. This isn't playing time, but he looks at it like, but Mills looks at it like it. I want to be on the job. I want to be on. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea. So that sense from you, Lamont, is what we need to bring to this. That, like, you need to be that seasoned guy that we can. Thank God you're here, because you know this guy would be dead in a year. You know, because he just go in shooting, and find like 50 gang members there with guns, thinking he's going to stop them all. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you. Bring it back. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you both. Good job. Okay. So is it Noah and then Grant? So Noah, Grant, we got one scene and then you. Okay. Is that cool? Grant, you're sideways. Grant. Can't hear you either.
Hold on. There we go.
All right, Grant. So I have this scene that I have to do with Noah. Is that okay? Do you have time for me to do this scene and then we'll do your scene with Trevor? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to do this scene with Noah, and then you and Trevor will be next. Cool. All right. So if you don't mind turning your camera off, Grant, that would be great. All right. So then Noah, what is the scene from?
The scene is from Good Will Hunting.
Okay. Let me pull up the scene. You emailed it to me, yeah?
Yes.
Bear with me 1 second. And this is the scene where you're talking to the guy who's kind of wanting to take the credit for discovering Will. And he's kind of like ruining his life. And you're kind of like, dude, like, is that correct? Am I on the right track?
Yeah.
And this is that conversation where, what's my character's name?
Sean.
Sean. And you're Jerry?
Yes.
So Sean is the Robin Williams part.
Yes.
Okay.